Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW 840i xDrive Gran Coupe. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Definitely take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This finished off in Drive It Gray Metallic. MSRP is just over $103,000. Underneath the hood is a 3-liter twin power turbo inline 6 that is paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 335 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,200-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. It has a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 18 gallons. You'll expect to see around 21 miles per gallon in the city, 29 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 119 inches. Its overall length is 200.2. It has a width of 76.1 and a height of 55.2 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this 850i, this model also has the M Sport and M Sport Pro package. So that provides it with the matte black finish for the kidney grille up front. There's also a forward-facing camera as well as plenty of cutouts in that grille to provide a lot of cooling to that engine. Now this also has a set of LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. This also has a sensor down below for the adaptive cruise, all the parking sensors, and as you can tell, a lot more cutouts in that lower section to provide better airflow. There's also very nice contoured lines for that entire lower section of the bumper. And then some more simple lines coming down both sides of the hood with the BMW badge right in the middle. Now this model also has a set of 20-inch wheels. They're 9 inches wide up front, 10 inches wide in the rear with that multi-spoke and two-tone design. There's the M Sport brakes finished off in gloss black. There's also a trim accent just behind that tire. Now the power folding side mirrors have a two-tone finish along with the integrated camera and turn signal. This also has 2 separate sunroofs, so it's not a full moonroof. You have a sunroof for your front and backseat passengers. Some more gloss black surrounding all of the pillarless windows there. And then very nice lines in the lower section as well as running down the side. Everything's pretty sleek for this. And it is called a Gran Coupe. So essentially it has a coupe-like design, but it is stretched to have the full back seats, of course. Now as we finish up in the rear, very nice line accent for the top of the trunk. This has a backup camera, LED taillights, all of the parking sensors, and then a little bit different of a gray for that lower diffuser with the dual exhaust on both sides. Now let's take a listen to this because it does have remote start. Simply triple tap on the lock button once you have it activated and it will start up. And then you can also triple tap on that button again in order to shut it off. And then we can use the key fob to unlock it. You can use the key fob for the power trunk or use the electronic button underneath to open that up. Now this is basically a sedan and you have a lot of space behind those back seats. There's some battery access on the driver's side, storage net on that passenger side. The floor does not lift up, so this is all the space that you get. However, you can also fold down the back seats. So you have a lever on each side. Once you do that, obviously that gives you a lot more interior space, making this a practical everyday style vehicle. And with the power trunk, you can close it. The one on the right side will also lock the vehicle too. Now as we work our way to the back seats, you can lock and unlock this with the back door handles, which is nice. And this Tartufo interior is a great accent against this exterior color. Now for the door panel, there's leather, there's brushed aluminum, there's all of the leather down below, and as you can tell, the sunshade for the passenger is currently up. You can actually adjust all these sunshades within the vehicle using all of these controls. So we have the sunroofs as well as the shade for the back glass and then this side. And then we have the window control too to activate that. And then check out the two-tone for the rest of these seats. Now at 5'10", it's not all that hard to hop into the back seats here. Now this is a 5-seater. Realistically, it's a 4-seater because of everything in the middle, but you could have a leg on both sides if you needed to. All of these controls are for the auxiliaries. You have a little bit of space. We have all the climate adjustments as well, and then some more trim accents and brush trim surrounding that. But for this seat here, I have plenty of space. There's also a storage pocket behind both front seats. And then my head is almost just up against the Alcantara headliner, but I have enough space. Even with this being a Gran Coupe, still gives you a little bit of headroom, so I could be comfortable riding for a long time in the back. Now right in the middle, there's the armrest, A little bit of storage on the back side. There's also 2 cup holders, and then you can also fold down this middle seat individually. So if you want a little bit higher of an armrest, or you need to grab some items in the back, you can quickly do that. And then up top, we have the sunshade half open for the back seats, as well as the front seat passengers. But again, you can adjust all of that from the back, which is very nice. And then for the front door panel, it's just like the rear. However, there's the memory seating adjustments, lock and unlock, all of the window controls, even the rear sunshade, and then the power folding side mirrors. The trunk release is also located down below. And of course, this has the Harman Kardon sound system too. Now the M badge down on the door sill is an illuminating badge. And then check out the front seats. A little bit more lateral support to them. There is one manual adjustment, that is the leg support up front. Everything else is automatic with the controls down below. And then as we take a look at this steering wheel, it's finished off in solid leather. It's the M Sport steering wheel. It's heated too. Left side gives you all of your cruise and adaptive cruise control settings. Right side, there's volume tuning, and then you have Bluetooth and voice commands. This also has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, finished off in brushed aluminum. But let's fire this back up with that crystal button down below. We can bring it to life. And looking at the gauge cluster, fuel and miles per hour is on the left side, right side is tach and engine temperature, and then the map is always going to be shown right in the middle. And on the right side within the tach, you can go through some more info using the button on the top of the turn signal stalk. So we can go to average MPG, also pull up some trip information. You can look at live readouts for your horsepower and torque, pull up a G-force meter, look at your audio, and then we are back to what gear the vehicle is in, as well as the driving mode. So currently it is in comfort mode. And then this also has a head-up display. It is showing miles per hour and the speed limit sign. And then you can also get into your radio controls just by using this button on the right of the turn signal stalk. So there's a little bit of info, which is nice to go through. On this left side, there's all the headlight adjustments, dimmer switches for the gauges, one air vent. The entire dash is also covered in leather, which is nice to see. And then for the infotainment system, this is what I'll call the older technology system from BMW. A lot of their 24-year models are getting the large curved screen, so we'll just have to see if that is going to be an update for the next year model. Now on this left side, you can quickly get into your media, go into your phone. You also have the navigation, so you can pull that up in full screen. On the home screen here, we have the split view. So there's navigation, audio, and phone. You can swipe over and look at a few more widgets. You can even add some as needed, depending on what you'd like to see. And then if we go into car, I'm going to use the crystal rotary dial down below to further go through this information. You have drive information, you can pull up sport displays, you can monitor all of this when you're doing some spirited driving. There's vehicle status you can monitor, even a variety of settings. This is how you get into your interior lighting, all of your doors. You have general settings, driving modes, all of that. And then you have your owner's manual as well. And if we go all the way back to apps, this is where you can get into Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and some other installed apps as needed. There's also shortcuts down below, so you can quickly get into all this information. You don't have to use it as a touchscreen system. Now there's also a shortcut to the intelligent safety, and you can configure all of the standard safety features as needed and how you would like them to respond. Now on both sides of that, there's air vents. We have another LCD screen for all of the climates. So you can quickly get into all of that information, as well as adjusting the fan speed and temperature for the dual zone system. Now this also has heated seats. There's the recircs on both sides for more of the AC controls, power and volume for the radio, as well as tuning and all of the presets. And then underneath that, wireless charging is in the back. There's also 2 cup holders with some auxiliaries. And when you close this, we have that beautiful wood grain trim accent. And then on the left side of the shifter, there's traction control, a shortcut to the forward-facing camera, parking sensors, engine start, stop. And then let's put this into reverse now. We can pull up that backup camera along with the 360 view. So you can use gesture control or these shortcuts on the screen and see around this entire vehicle, which is very helpful. There's the car wash setting, so you have that top-down view, and then when you put it into drive, you can also push on that button to bring up that forward-facing camera. Now you can also shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters themselves, and then park is located on the back. Now behind that, we have the different driving modes. So you have a few for sport, one for comfort, a few for eco. There's also an adaptive setting too. E-brake is just next to that. And then plenty of space in the center armrest with a few auxiliaries. And then the glove box also has a good amount of space. Now up top, there's the dome lights as well as the controls for the sunshade. So you can use those as needed. And then as far as visibility goes, with that thin pillar, it's pretty easy to see over the right side, and then same with the left side as well. When you have that sunshade down, obviously that gives you a little bit more visibility. This is a very cool luxury focused Gran Coupe that I would also call a Grand Touring style vehicle. This is something that you can drive every day. It's super comfortable, yet at the same time too, it has some performance to it. You have the M Sport package. You can also go with the M840i if you want even more power. But this with the M Sport package, I think is definitely a great bargain. It is a six-figure vehicle, just over $100,000. This is going to compete with AMGs, even some S models from Audi, RS models as well. But so far, it's been super comfortable. Let's pop it into sport mode though, so we can use these paddles, which are incredibly responsive. And as we come around a sharp right, it is such a smooth driving vehicle. It's not crazy loud, which is nice. Again, this is geared towards being more of that Grand Touring like I mentioned. So even though it has that performance, it's not crazy loud. So if you're just looking for a little bit of that, that is what you are going to expect. Steering is also so direct, and it's just so comfortable to drive. Even in sport mode, this doesn't have any adjustments for the suspension, so these modes here are really going to modulate the throttle response. So if you put it into Eco Pro, you can still use the paddles, but if I go down to third gear, this is what Eco is going to be like. So there's really no power in that if you're looking to save on some MPG, but sport is definitely the mode I think you want to be in for this. And I just can't get over how comfortable and smooth this is to drive. BMWs are well refined, so as we have a vehicle passing us, you don't really hear it. You can hear it slightly, but it's what you'd expect from a BMW. This is going to be something, again, you can drive every day and just be comfortable behind the wheel. So it's going to be a peaceful drive. And from second gear, here we go. As we come around a turn, it's so planted and the shifts are so quick. This is a good 8-speed transmission for this BMW, and the steering is also super direct, which is nice. It feels like you're in a sports car, but obviously we have a little bit more length to it than a traditional sports car. And just like that, back up to speed. It is so comfortable to drive. I'm a huge fan of BMWs. I do get to review a lot of them, so I have a lot of seat time behind the wheel. And this drives very similar to the rest of the lineup. They're all going to have something a little bit similar, of course, but this, I will say, is the ultimate Grand Touring style vehicle, realistically fitting 4 people. If you have a 5th, you could do it. But if you want a little bit more space in the back, 4 people, it's going to be doable and it's going to be an enjoyable ride. Let's do one more acceleration from third gear. It is so quick, so smooth. Seats are also incredibly comfortable. I like the lateral support that they have to offer. And so that's just going to add to the drivability of this. Brakes do a great job. It has a pretty tight turnaround, which is nice. And then in just normal automatic, even in sport mode, those shifts are super quick. So it's nice you can drive this a few different ways, just depending on what you are doing for the day. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this Gran Coupe for me today. Check out their website, that link is down in the description. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.